Yeah.
I don't have to crank it quite as loud as last time when there were so many kids.
Well, I couldn't hear it at all.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it was like, whoa.
I was like, I'm going to give it every piece of juice it has.
He's going to do one. I'm going to do
I mentioned to Lori that we have really good visual
We already got
cues.
We already got the 1, 2, 3 done. 1, 2, 3.
Unless you want to do one.
Okay.
Me? No, I don't want to do it.
That's a busman's holiday.
I'm good on this.
Oh. Ooh.
That looks nice. That looks nice.
Hey.
Let me go start this. Oh. We'll give it a good 30 seconds or so.
Shut her down here. Oh.
See if we are indeed streaming. We are. Let me grab that door.
Light one candle for the Shabbos, no.
Random things.
Shall we?
Went sharp on me.
I probably heard
Sounding,
something.
sounding nice. Well, Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Glad to see you. Let's begin by singing Esa Enai El Heharim. I lift my eyes to the mountain. I lift my eyes to the mountains, and in come the apothecars. So it's a good mountain to be on. Esa Enai El Heharim. May ayin yavo Israel.
Esa enai el heharim. Esa enai el heharim. Me'ayin yavo, yavo Ezri. Me'ayin yavo, yavo Ezri. Me'ayin yavo, yavo Ezri. Me'ayin yavo, yavo Ezri. Where will my help come from? Where will my help come from? My help will come from God, maker of heaven and earth. My help will come from God, maker of heaven and earth. Me'ayin yavo, yavo Ezri. Me'ayin yavo, yavo Ezri. Me'ayin yavo,
Psalm 118, Hodu Ladonai Kitov Ki Le'olam Chasto. We give thanks for all the goodness that is in our lives, even when the world feels like it is perhaps crumbling around us. We have to do this very Jewish task of finding the good locally, right around us, right in this room perhaps. Hodu Ladonai Kitov. Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.
In the Torah this week, we are approaching the end of the book of Exodus as we read the Parsha Vayachel, which is a portion whose very name means gathering. You may remember that in last week's Torah portion, we read about the tragedy of the golden calf. The Israelites felt so scared and deserted when their leader Moses went up the mountain for 40 days that they lobbied Aaron to build them a golden cow to worship. They had just come from 400 years of slavery in Egypt where gods were tangible and visible, and now they found themselves in the wilderness feeling all alone. So they convince Aaron to build this giant golden cow, and they begin worshiping it. Moses comes back, sees what's happening, throws down the commandments, returns up the mountain. The story has a dramatic ending, but the people finally do get the commandments in the end. And following that incident in this week's Torah portion, it seems as though God's self, has learned a lesson and changes course. God decides that the Israelites need to be able to see and feel a physical representation of God so their hearts will be at ease. So Moses brings the people together, not to chastise them, but to invite them into something sacred. He instructs them to build the Mishkan, the tabernacle, this portable sanctuary that will travel with them in the wilderness. And there are a lot of detailed instructions that will follow. It's clear, though, that the building of the Mishkan is meant to be a communal event. It's not built by one person alone. Every individual, the craftsmen and weavers and metal workers and artists, those with great wealth, those only with willing hearts, they all contribute to its creation. Every single Israelite contributes something meaningful to them. And because of that, the Mishkan becomes not just a physical space, but a spiritual home, a reminder that holiness is found when people come together with purpose, and that in Judaism, we can feel God's presence when we become a community. Tonight, we do the same. Like the Israelites in the wilderness, perhaps we too are scared. We see the chaos of the world swirling around us. We see Israel in day 533 of a war that seems to be heating up again, hostages still held in limbo, great unrest within Israeli society itself. There is so much uncertainty. But we gather in this space, and God willing, many like this around the world this evening, and we create sanctuary together. We do it not out of gold and silver, but with our voices and our prayers and our presence. We build a sanctuary by showing up at one another's side. We build it tonight by singing together. We know that in times of uncertainty and struggle, our strength comes from one another. The Israelites carried the Mishkan with them wherever they went, and in a way, perhaps we can as well. When we gather in song, when we lift our voices as one, we create something beautiful and enduring, a sacred space that travels with us even after we leave this room. So tonight, let us build sanctuary together, not out of wood or cloth, but out of harmony and joy and all the music that we will make together. Let's lift our voices up and lift each other up and weave together this sense of belonging and remind ourselves that we are not alone, that we have each other's backs. Then we will create a sanctuary that will truly enrich our souls and give us the strength for this journey ahead. We'll join together in creating sanctuary, and we're going to do that first by lighting our Shabbat candles. And we call esteemed Professor David Lynn is going to light the candles for us. You can find that on page 2 or up here on the screen. And maybe we'll all do the blessing together if you're up for that, David. And as we are about to begin singing Lecha Dodi to welcome Shabbat, why don't we take just a few moments to take a deep breath, see if we can find just a little bit of Shabbat peace, calm, holiness, goodness, rest, joy. El
Shabbat nekabela lechadodi likala yalla Shabbat nekabela.
We'll invite you to please rise and face the entrance to the room. Oh, we
Shalom Ateret Bala Gam Besimcha Uvetzor Tov Emuneh Am Segula Boi Kala Boi Kala Lecha Dodi Likra Kala Yalla B'nai Shabbat Nekabela Lecha Dodi Likra Kala Yalla Shabbat Nekabela Yalla
You may be tempted to sit down, but I'll ask you if you're able to please stay out of your seats as we're going to join together in the Baruch Hu.
Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Yalla la la la, 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 yalla la la la. Baruch et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed. Le'olam va'ed. Yalla la la la, 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 yalla la la la. unto your children,
and you
shall speak of them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, and when you rise up, and when you lie down, and when you lie down, and you shall bind them for a sign upon your hands, and they shall be for frontlets between your eyes, and you shall write them on the doorposts of your house and upon your gates, upon your gates, that you may remember and do all of my commandments, and be holy unto your God, unto your God, unto your God.
We'll sing together, Mi Chamocha. We talked about creating sanctuary together, to becoming each other's sanctuary, and Hashkivenu invites us to do just that, to be a shelter of peace. That God is our shelter of peace, and that we can shelter each other in peace and in goodness, and we can watch out for one another, to walk with good companions, and to wake up to life renewed for goodness.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Leshalom Lehamidenu Shoreinu
Spread the shelter of your peace over us.
Spread the shelter of your peace over us. Guide us sorrow and pain. Hashivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom. Hamidenu Shoreinu Shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat le'dorotam berit olam. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat le'dorotam berit olam. B'nei Uven, B'nei Israel, B'nei Israel, Oti Le'olam Lam Shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat le'dorotam berit olam.
Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz
Shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat le'dorotam berit olam. Uvayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat Shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat le'dorotam berit olam.
All right, well, whenever Nick is done with that verse, we're going to turn to the Amidah, which you can find on page 46, and we will invite you, he's still going, we'll invite you, if you are able, to please rise as we sing together Adonai Svatai.
Yada lai lai lai, 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 yada lai lai lai. Adonai Shefatai Tita Ufi Agid Tehilatecha.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Hastei Avot v'Imahot, U'Mevi Gula Livnei V'neihem, L'ma'an Shemo B'Ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Avraham V'Ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh HaKol Atah Rav L'Hoshia, Mechakel Chayim B'Chesed, Mechayeh HaKol B'Rachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim V'Rofei Cholim, U'Matir Asurim, U'Mekayem Emunato, L'Shenei Afar, Michamocha B'Gevurot, U'Mido Melach, Melech Memit, U'Mechayeh, U'Matzmiach Yeshua, V'Ne'emana Talachayot HaKol, Baruch Atah Adonai, Mechayeh HaKol. Atah Kadosh V'Shimcha Kadosh, U'Kedoshim B'chol Yom Yahalelu Chasela, Baruch Atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. Amen. You may be seated. We're going to take just a few moments for some silent meditation, some silent prayer. You can either use the words that are on the screen here from the prayer Elohai Nitzor, or the words that are in your Siddur on pages 54 to 60, or whatever words are in your heart on this Erev Shabbat. We turn from that prayer that asks God for wholeness in the world, for wholeness around us and for wholeness within our own souls, to send prayers for wholeness to those who are in need of that peace and that wholeness and that healing. We're thinking on this Shabbat of healing for Zaini Abdullahi, Rabbi Jonathan Adler, thinking of Nancy Ashley, Sarah Bates, Margie Block, Ron Bragg, Marge Serrani, Ann Clark, Keith Clark, Bruce Cohn. We're thinking of Ella Dubrow, Sam Edelman, Larry Eisenman, Carrie Eschler, Babette Feibel, Marilyn Friedman, Alan Goldberg, Donald Goldberg, Jessica Heffley, Lev Heschel Ben Batamiva Yaakov, Beth Jasalowitz, Dan Lang, Minna Melton, Phyllis Miles, David Paragas. We're thinking of Lisa Pena, Jeremy Phelan, Ian Phillips, Rashi Pristowski, Jessica Rathkoff, Joe Reif. We're thinking of Willa Rorba, Maya Rossio, Ralph Sauer. Thinking of Steve Seaskin, Jeff Spector, Rachel Vieira, Jerry Young, Ozzie Zimmer. We're thinking of Mike Friedman, Myrna Landman Nelson, Alex Posner, Cheryl Gensler. And we'll ask if you have any other names. We'll start here, and you who are online, if you have more names to share, you can share them on Facebook there. Any other names for healing? Any other names? On behalf of all those we named aloud, those we hold in our hearts, everyone who is in need of healing and wholeness will join together in singing Misha Barak. You can find that on page 253 or up here on the screen.
Strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. And let us say,
We'll turn from, let me get a microphone that actually works. We'll turn to, from the need for healing to the need for rejoicing, and ask if anybody has a simcha that they'd like to share. Good thing we, here we go. Okay, there we go. See if anybody has a simcha that they'd like to share. Maybe I took this microphone out prematurely. Okay, anybody have something that they would like to celebrate on this Erev Shabbat? Any takers? Marcy Golden, we can always count on you.
Our granddaughter crawled today.
Go, Rowan. Yay, that's good. That's good. She crawled. Oh man, that's a game changer. Yeah. but
G.I.
movement is a game changer. Anybody else have a simcha? Yeah, Nick, and then Alina.
My granddaughters turned 7 and 4 on the same day, March 31st, and we're also going to a wedding of a friend next week, so lots of simchas, but I'm pre-simchizing here.
And in honor of Luda, I hand over the microphone.
I'm really thankful that I can be here today, just in general, and like, I don't know, do random stuff on all this stuff. And I'm also thankful that I have spring break because I'm tired.
Love it.
You don't get that
Love it.
anymore
Thank
when
you,
you're an
Alina.
adult. So you don't get that anymore when you're an adult.
Anybody else? Let me look real quickly and see if any online.
I think I have something.
Oh yes, Ange.
I got a roommate, and they actually clean up after themselves. It's amazing.
Yay.
It's great.
These are wonderful
So
simchas.
bald.
Anybody else? I don't see any online, but if you have some and you're watching at home, you can put it in there and we'll celebrate afterward. Let's join together in singing Shehechianu. Always grateful for this exact moment. Let's join together.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kimanu v'higianu b'zman hazeh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kimanu v'higianu b'zman hazeh.
As we start the conclusion of our service, we're going to turn to the Rossio version of Aleinu by Yom Hahu. You can find that on the screen here, and we'll join together in singing.
Vayom Hahu Yehiye Adonai Echad. Vayom Hahu Yehiye U'Shemo Echad. V'ne'emar, as it is written, V'ne'emar, let it be said, God rules the earth. On that day God shall be one. V'haya Adonai, the Melech HaKol Haaretz. On that day God's name shall be one. Hayom Hahu Yehiye Adonai Echad. Vayom Hahu Yehiye U'Shemo Echad. U'Shemo Echad.
We're going to turn in a moment to the Kaddish. Since we have a couple of moments, I was wondering if anybody who is here who is observing a yard site, or if you're at home observing a yard site, if you could just share with us, if you're comfortable, a sentence or two about the person who you are remembering this evening. We're in Shloshim for Marilyn Altman. Do you want to say something about your beloved mother-in-law? Not to put you on the spot, but
No.
your mark.
We were blessed enough to have Rabbi come down to Cincinnati to do the service, and it was extremely meaningful and it was nice to hear him swear, say the F word.
I've never gotten to say the F word during a funeral before, but that's for another story.
Ironically, at my mother's funeral, he used the SH word.
I did. Sounds about right. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Working
so
your way
working
around.
out.
Well, I'm really developing a reputation.
It's
great.
It was time. She'd be missed. Her influence was there. Her family was around her, and she really was a blessing.
That's great. Thanks for sharing that. Anybody have a yard site that you're for someone you're remembering? Yeah, Lynn, you wanna? It's your mom is right. Okay.
I'm recognizing the yurt site of my mom, Alice Margolis, who was small but mighty, which is an inherited feature. But one of the things that I relish when I think of her is her love of feeding others. And when she passed, there were seven apple pies in the freezer just in case somebody stopped by. And we slowly ate through them. We weren't going to discard them, but the next time you have a piece of apple pie, think of my mom.
Anybody else want to say something about someone they're remembering? Alina?
So in English class today, we had to write this poem, right? And it was like a Where I'm From poem. So it gave us like some prompts that we could fill in the blank if we wanted to, or we could just like do our own thing. And I did my own thing. And I wrote about my grandma in it a lot, Luda Kagan. And I mentioned a lot of stuff about her because a lot about her is me, you know? And I don't really remember what I wrote. I kind of blacked out while writing. But I remember writing about a story of when my aunt was in grade school and she had forgotten something, and my grandma was a teacher, and they like walked all the way back home even though they knew that they'd both be late. And I think that story, one of many, really demonstrates just how strong my grandma was and persevering, and the fact that she and other people in my family would do anything for who they care about. And I included that in my poem because I think a lot of that is a part of who I am and where I'm from. So that really just made me, that poem really just made me start thinking of my grandma a lot. Yeah, and like I think about her a lot, almost every day, but the poem in general really just made me kind of reminisce on good memories that we had. And, you know, like when we were little and one of us was crying, she would be like, okay, wipe your tears, everything's gonna be okay. Like that calming presence is something I still feel, even though she's not here physically. She's here spiritually. So that just, a lot of that stuff I remembered. And it was nice to remember it.
Thanks for sharing that. Anybody else? Someone, let's see, who was sharing online. Miriam Siegfried says, my father, Max Frank Chait, was a righteous man. He was a union organizer at the Ford Motor Company and was blackballed for his efforts. All right, well, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Not that you're blackballed, Miriam, but you have a lot of those attributes. All right, let's join together in the Kaddish. We'll invite everyone to please rise, and I'm going to read these names. On this Shabbat, we are in Shloshim for Marilyn Altman. We are remembering the yard sites of Rose Ankerman, Amram Cohn, Lynn Cohn, Michael Dickerson Jr., Linda Dolitsky-Kent, Ella Goldstick, Stanley Handler, Alice Margolis, Jerry Masser, Bill Miller, David Papier, Alex Ringelheim, Pamela Schultz, Flora Schwartz, Marjorie Schulman, Dorothy Smith Griffith, Henry Wormbrand, and Celine Zahn. We'll turn to the Kaddish prayer on page 294 or up here on the screen. And I'll invite, before we start the prayer, if you have another name to add, this would be the time to add that name. Let's join together. Yid Kadal v'Yid Kadash Shemei Rabbah, Be'alma divrach Yerutei v'Yamlich Malchutei, V'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, V'agala v'zman kari v'imru Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabbah Mevarach Le'olam Ulamei Almaya, Yid Barach v'Yishtabach v'Yidpa'ar v'Yitraman v'Yitnaseh, v'Yidhadar v'Yitaleh v'Yitalal Shmei Dekudasham B'richu, Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechamata, damiran be'alma v'imru Amen. Yehi Shlama Rabbah min Shemaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Osei shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. May God send peace and wholeness to all those who are bereaved among us, and together we say, Amen. You may be seated. And I believe Nicole is pulling double duty, not just singing, but also using her board expertise to deliver some announcements. Sure, come to this microphone instead. Why not? Come on over. Come on over.
Sorry, I'm a little tired
You can do whatever,
today.
yeah.
3 duties, actually, because I had the door, too.
Oh, also the door. Also, greeter, singer,
Listen.
announcer.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
She'll be the janitor after services also.
Yes, that's what I aspire to. Please join us on this Thursday at 12 for our March Lunch Bunch program featuring the executive director of the Garden for All. You can learn about the community garden that's next door with TBS Friends. And then registration for annual first night Passover Seder is open, so you have to go on the Shul Cloud to reserve seats for our community Seder. That's on April 12th. And then save the date for our Rad 80s themed gala on Saturday, April 26th. I know the turnout last year was pretty good. It was on my anniversary, so I didn't make it. But I heard a lot of good things. And then as always, visit Shul Cloud or check your latest weekly window and email to view and register for all of the upcoming events. So thank you and Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. I just want to give another plug for Thursday for Beth, who's the executive director. So the garden across the parking lot there, that project has gotten so big that it no longer is housed in the church. It is its own 501c3 with its now full-time, they're hiring a full-time executive director. Not only are they working the land over here, but they bought a huge farm in Johnstown and are doing all kinds of really, really cool things. And it's called the Garden for All because they really want everyone to participate in it. All of the produce goes to people who are in need. So if you're available Thursday at 12 to come and listen to the outgoing executive director, they have a part-time person who couldn't stay on full-time, and they're bringing on a new person, but she's going to really give us the full story of how it came to be and what we can do to help and the immense difference that they make in Central Ohio with all of the produce that comes from this property right here and up in Johnstown as well. So, good stuff. Why don't we do maybe a little Kiddush and Motzi, and then we'll do a closing song? Sure. Rabbi Howard Apotheker is an expert when it comes to Kiddush. And Marcy? No? You gave up drinking. That's fair. That's fair. Let me give you this.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho v'yahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit כי הוא יום תחילה למקרא קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים, כי בנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים ושבת קודשך ואהבה ורצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Let's sing Am Yisrael Chai.
Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael Chai. Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael Chai. Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael Chai. Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael Chai. O Rabbeinu Chai, O Rabbeinu Chai, O Rabbeinu, O Rabbeinu, O Rabbeinu Chai, O Rabbeinu Chai, O Rabbeinu Chai, O Rabbeinu, O Rabbeinu, O Rabbeinu Chai. Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael 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 Chai. O Rabbeinu Chai, O Rabbeinu Chai, O Rabbeinu, O Rabbeinu, O Rabbeinu Chai, O Rabbeinu Chai, O Rabbeinu Chai, O Rabbeinu, O Rabbeinu, O Rabbeinu.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you, Mark, Nick, Nicole, Alina, Angelo. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Thank you, guys.
Shabbat, Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, Shalom.